And guess what? You're not. You've got Dallas Wilson. You've got Bernard Brown III. You've got, we can consider the freshmen, but I like to talk about players that have actually played in the SEC or have played college football in general. You've got the TJ Abrams are back. DH, go screw yourself. You got TJ Abrams, that's back. You've got guys that are coming in, and Florida, we've been told, hey, they're pursuing these guys, these bigger names. They're pursuing some of those guys still that would come in and be significant contributors. The Isaiah Canyons of the world that we've talked about that entered the portal out of Georgia Tech. We've talked about those guys, right? And they're going to come in, and they're going to compete, and they're going to play larger roles. You brought in Bailey Stockton to be a rotational receiver, a rotational slot. That's a damn good addition for him. Again, I'm not saying, Florida got their star, but what I am saying is that Florida got a quality player to fill a rotational role. That matters, a quality player with experience. Is he super productive? No, but, he had 20 catches for 223 yards this year. Didn't score a touchdown, but 20 catches for 223 yards as a receiver, right? That would be, for wide receivers, that would be fourth most catches in Florida's wide receiver room this year. And that would be fourth most yards in Florida's wide receiver room this year. That's what you got. You just got someone that was more productive than you had there. I'm not going to say he's like a Ricky Pearsall. That's crazy to me. But we will talk more about Bailey Stockton joining the Florida Gators when we get back with Locked On Gators. Fridays already feel different during basketball season, and FanDuel's making them even better, right? Every Friday night before the games tip off, FanDuel gives fans a new way to kick off the weekend with NBA Happy Hour. NBA Happy Hour is your official pregame, a limited time window where special offers drop right inside the FanDuel app before the action starts. So, before tip-off, check out the FanDuel app, see what's dropping during NBA Happy Hour. It's boosts. It's bonuses. You got some surprises in there. Every Friday from 6 p.m. Eastern Time to 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. A little basketball, a little action, and a whole lot of Friday energy. That's NBA Happy Hour only on FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. And there's nothing that beats college sports, right? Whether it's college football, college basketball, being in the atmosphere for those games, those events, they're incredible. Going to concerts, they're awesome. I've said it before, Game Time I've used to get maybe 7 concerts I've gone to see on Game Time. I saw Anita, that Mexican OT, Shabuzi. We've gone to see them all, right? All bought through Game Time. That's why Game Time gives the advantage back to fans. Going to see Olivia Dean? There we go. Going to see Ray? There we go. Easiest way to unlock amazing college experiences, college games, concerts, plays, whatever you want to do. Take the guesswork out of buying college tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that's code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Thanks again for making Locked On Gators your first listen of the day. Every day, we are available daily and free reviews in the podcast and on YouTube. And the Florida Gators landed Bailey Stockton from Georgia Tech out of the transfer portal. He is going to be a rotational slot. Again, I know people are getting really hung up on the names, especially early in the cycle, right? Especially early in the cycle, people go, this is who we're bringing in? Not this star player. This is who we're bringing in? You're bringing in a quality football player when he's available, when he's on campus, when he's there. That's what you're doing. This isn't a priority order of saying, hey, if this is the first receiver we bring in, he needs to be the best receiver we bring in. That's not how football works. That's not how the portal works. That's not how roster building works. Bailey Stockton is going to come in and be a rotational receiver, a rotational slot receiver for a team that, by the way, just hired the wide receivers coach from Georgia Tech in Trent McKnight to be the inside receivers coach at Florida. Trying to throw that connection. Oh, by the way, as the Georgia Tech offensive coordinator, Buster Faulkner, one of the most highly sought after offensive coordinators in the country, now calling plays here, who's seen Bailey Stockton for 3 years. Who, by the way, going to bring in Aaron Philo, Georgia Tech's backup quarterback that is going to compete for the quarterback 1 spot here in Gainesville, and has thrown to Bailey Stockton for a few years now. Interesting. Interesting that so many people hate it, right? You're getting quality depth, quality players here. That's what it is. Like I'll gladly take a Bailey Stockton over some of the names that were in the room last year, right? And don't forget, at wide receiver, you lost Trey Wilson. He's gone. You lost J. Michael Servan. He's gone. That's 54 catches right there. You lost Aiden Mizell. That's another 19 catches. I'm not that great at math, but I'm pretty sure that's 73 catches right there, right? You lost 73 catches from the receiver room alone. Then we'll include tight end here because you're going to see more 10 personnel here. So you lost Hayden Hansen. That's another 30 catches. That's what, 104? I think we were at 74 before. That's it. Like you lost a lot of catches. There's going to be a lot of touches available. Why not go get somebody that your offensive coordinator, potential QB1, and inside receivers coach are all comfortable with? Why not do that? Do we just not like making good choices because we want to chase a big name? Because what you're getting is a reliable receiver. Can you see Bailey primarily in the kicking game? Like I'm as a return man, I could see him maybe contributing to punt return, but it's not really what he did at Georgia Tech. He's got 11. I mean, if you include kick return, 12 kick returns in his entire career. It's not what I expect him to do. I could see him doing it. I can see him, especially if you want to go, hey, VB3, you're going to be a way more important part of the offense this year. We don't want you on punt return. If that's it, right? And so I think that we're talking about that. I know people, who was it? We're getting a lot of Georgia Tech players. Interesting. Why? Every time you see a coach go somewhere, they bring players. Other than what John Summerall has done at Tulane. He hasn't brought Tulane players to this point. Brought it, had the specialists come in, they take their visits. We'll see what happens with that, of course. But every time you see, look at Penn State. Penn State is basically just Iowa State saying, hey, we're going to up and move to the Big Ten with all the players they took. Rocco Beck, Benjamin Brahmer, Carson Hansen, all those guys went from Iowa State to Penn State to follow Matt Campbell. Players follow their coaches because as much as we want to say they're committing to the logo, a lot of these guys are actually committing to the coach that they think will develop them and get them to the NFL. I know people want to complain and go, well, it's money, it's NIL. It's part of it, yeah. But a lot of these guys are going places where they feel comfortable with the coach. And so what we've seen from Georgia Tech so far with players hit the portal or players that are rumored to hit the portal, Aaron Philo, Bailey Stockton, Isaiah Canyon, Harrison Moore. Florida's an immediate player for all of them, who, by the way, are Power 4 football players that were at the top of their conference. We're talking about coming in to be immediate contributors to a Power 4 football team in Florida that was near the bottom of their conference. I understand it's SEC, ACC. I get that. The SEC is so clearly miles ahead of the ACC. I understand that. But we're talking about bringing in experienced guys that can fill a role in the offense to come in and fill a rotational role in the offense. Like if Bailey Stockton's coming in to start, yeah, I'm going to say, all right, I'm not a huge fan of that. I will. I'll say I'm not a huge fan of it. But if he's coming in to be slot 2, slot 3, depending on, if it's Verno Brown in there at that point, like depending on how that shakes out, I'm good with it. You're bringing in experienced quality depth that knows the offense, knows the system, has worked with your position coach, has worked with your potential starting quarterback. You're bringing in all that out of the transfer portal. And you're probably not breaking the bank. We know Florida has said, hey, we're going to pay for production, but we're not paying if you don't have that production. 20 catches, 223 yards, 0 touchdowns is not that much production, right? But it is pretty good production if you're talking about wide receiver 4, because that's what it would be on Florida's team last year. And he was wide receiver 5 for Georgia Tech production-wise. Like, I understand people want the big names. I get it. It's fun to say that. It's fun to want that. But at the same time, that's just realistically not how football works. You don't just go, hey, let's go get the biggest names. When Indiana went into the portal last year, outside of, hell, even including Mendoza, how many players that went to Indiana were you going, oh, those are dudes. They're getting studs there. How many of you did that? Because even Mendoza was someone that went from Cal, and everybody thought at first he'd go to Miami because of the personal ties, of course. And then he ended up in Indiana. And then what they did at Indiana, while taking all these players that I think if those same players came to Florida, I think the Florida fan base would freak out. But what they did is they went to Indiana, and then they took their belts off, and they went belt to ass on every single team they played this year. I don't care about the name.